Welcome back to DajibanLife. A quick update video. So yes, to answer some of your questions that you've been asking me, I have still been living in my van, and it's clean right now because I just cleaned it. So I figured I would I would shoot an update video. If I pull some of this stuff out, you can see like a lot of stuff is bent. My wires are kind of all over the place now. I kind of just don't care anymore. I have seen your guys' suggestions to go to a body shop and fix the frame. I know it's possible to fix the frame. Let's see here. I'll show you this thing again. So I know it's possible to fix this, but to me it's just not worth the trouble and the cost. I would have to pay a body shop probably at least $1,000 to pull this out, and then even then it wouldn't be perfect, you know what I mean? And then I have to get a new bumper, and so the total cost of, new doors and whatever, and so the cost of fixing this would probably run into like $2,000, something like that. And to me that's just not worth it. It drives fine. The only inconvenience is that I can't really open my rear doors because, as you can see here, the bumper is kind of blocking the doors from opening, so that sucks. But yeah, after the initial accident there was a lot of creaking and like grinding noises and all kinds of stuff going on, but that seems to have gone away. I think when the other car crashed into me, it like moved stuff around, you know what I mean, off of where it was normally at, and so it took a while just for it to settle back down. And now, I mean, at least it drives fine. Obviously it's probably not 100% safe. It's probably like 90%, I would say, and that's good enough for me. I'll take my chances. The 10% chance of something going horribly wrong, but there's always a risk of something going horribly wrong, especially on this van when a lot of the parts and stuff are Frankenstein together by myself. And even though I sort of know what I'm doing, it's not like a engineered piece of thing, like CNC machined and cut and measured perfectly and all that, according to this application. So I should probably do a cost breakdown. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I'll do a cost breakdown. So basically on the old van, which is parked over there, I spent 10 grand on that, putting that together. The first time there was a lot of trial and error for that. That's why I spent so much money. I didn't really know what I was doing, and I bought a lot of parts that I didn't need, and trying stuff out and swapping back and forth, and I put a lot of hours into that van. And then when the transmission died on that one, I bought this one, and this one cost a little bit more just out the gate, just because it had lower mileage. But then I spent money on it. You would think you'd spend less money on a second van, but I spent money doing like stuff I hadn't done to my old van. And so this one's a lot nicer, honestly, inside. Like, if you look at it, I don't know if you looked at my old videos or whatever, but this van's definitely a lot nicer. It's very similar because I kind of reuse some of the same products that I used in the old one. I really like the setup. I'm glad I didn't go with like wood cladding and stuff, because if I had done that, then that would have just been a waste, you know what I mean? All that wood stuck up inside, I would have tear all that out and put it up, put it back up in here. The polyurethane coating was kind of a pain, but it actually is pretty nice. I would definitely recommend it to people, even though the VOCs are pretty, they're pretty terrible for the first 2 weeks or so while it dries and cures. But once it's cured, like, it's a nice, it's like a nice skin. It doesn't really get dirty. That's what I've noticed. That it doesn't get dusty. Even on the outside panels that I put it on, here on the bumper and stuff, like, this looks brand new, basically. You know what I mean? It doesn't really get dirty. So I highly recommend this stuff. The stuff I used was called Raptor lining, I think. But there's other brands. There's like lizard skin and whatever, I don't know. So it's not a bad product. I would definitely recommend it. I was even thinking this would probably work really well on the outside as well, since I don't really wash my van. So yeah, back to what I was talking about. But I spent, money repurchasing a lot of the, like, sound deadening was expensive, because the cost of that had gone up since the last time I had bought it. And then the acoustic panels, and then remaking my kitchen with actual metal and stuff like that cost money. And so I ended up spending a good amount on this van as well, making it what it is now. And so in total I spent about 20 grand. I've been in the van, living the van life for about 2 years, so that's averaging about $1,000 a month, a little bit less because it's 24 months versus $20,000. So whatever that divides into, it's like probably 950 or whatever, 925, whatever that is. So compared to renting, I'm not sure I saved a whole lot of money. Obviously rent would be more expensive, especially if I live by myself. Getting a studio or something in the area that I work in would probably cost around like $1,200 to $1,300 a month. So definitely it's like a $400 savings per month kind of thing, minus utilities and cable and all that stuff I would need, you know what I mean? So definitely save some money there, but also it's not just the cost of the van building it, but then also gas. I normally put in about $100 worth of gas every week, just because gas prices are so high these days. So that's like $400 a month or more sometimes. So between $400 and $600 a month, let's call it $500 to be even, right? So I'm at around $1,400 a month anyway. So in that sense, I didn't really save any money on rent, but I was able to squirrel away some cash into my savings account. And in the 2 years that I've done the van life, I've put away about 30 grand, so 30K in the bank. So definitely it has been super worth it. I don't know if I was in an apartment I would be able to save that much, possibly. I guess I'll keep track of that once I move into an apartment. But if I were to do this again and with the sole purpose of saving money, definitely, like I mentioned in my last video, I would probably just get like a used minivan or something for cheap. And I would probably max my budget at probably like 10 grand for everything and just do it once. You know what I mean? Minivans are much cheaper to fix, much easier to fix because they're lighter and all the parts are like smaller basically. Like this van, what I've noticed is that fixing it is a pain just because everything's so big and heavy. So you need bigger tools, bigger sockets, bigger everything. And it's just kind of a bear to work on, and especially the design of it. The design philosophy with Dodge is just not great. It's just, let's just make it work, seems like what their philosophy was. And honestly, like having all this utility is great, like being able to make food and stuff. But honestly, when you're working, really not necessary when you're not spending a whole lot of time in the van. If you're gonna live in your van full time and you work out of your van and you're traveling and all that stuff, yeah, definitely you need a lot of this stuff, right? But if you're not gonna do that, then what for? You just need a place to sleep, really. Like the rest of the time you can spend your time in a coffee shop or whatever. Like there's not that many hours in the day after working 8 hours, you know what I mean? And on the weekends, yeah, having stuff is nice too, but go hang out with your friends or go to see a movie or something or whatever, like go outside and be active. Don't spend your time in your van, you know what I mean? Especially if you're just urban stealth camping. Like I said, if you're traveling and stuff, it makes sense. But after having done this for 2 years, like having all this stuff, and having a fridge is really nice actually, but other than the fridge, which I could have just gotten a 12-volt cooler, and that would have made my battery needs a lot less as well if I was just using a 12-volt unit. I probably spent 5 to 6 grand on my battery stuff that I didn't really need to, that I could have maybe halved or even less, more than halved the cost if I just gone with the basic bare bone setup. Because once I stopped really cooking all that much, I still cook here and there once in a while, but not that much anymore. And so once you get rid of cooking, you don't really need such a large unit. You can run like smaller tools and stuff off of like a nicer portable unit that might cost a little bit more. So like I said, so like half the cost, and you can run pretty much everything I need. And now, since I don't cook, this battery pack is overkill. If I had just gone the bare bones minivan route that I know now, right, then it's possible that I could have saved maybe 40 or 50K, you know what I mean, in the 2 years that I've done this, instead of just the 30K, maybe more, maybe 60K. And I only make 60K a year, roughly, at my job that I'm at now. And so, that'll, definitely jumpstart your financial, life or whatever. And so, yeah, knowing what I know now, if I were to go back, I would definitely just do the bare bones minimum, you know what I mean, just eat out and work on my body. It's a 2-year sacrifice, and you can come up 50K, you know what I mean? That's a big come up, you know what I mean? Like you can use that money for a lot of stuff. Down payment on something, commercial or residential, whatever, a property. You could start a business with that kind of money, all kinds of stuff, you know what I mean? So 2 years is relatively a short time, especially if you're working on yourself during that time and you just, you know, put your nose to the, you just grind it out, you know what I mean? So I would definitely, I know my audience isn't really skewed, it doesn't skew younger. They're probably more in the 30s to 40s range, because people who like dodgy bands are, you know, just older, stupid people like me. But definitely, if I was a college student, I would advise college students, yo, you know, don't spend money on rent. That it's just gonna turn into debt later that you have to pay back. Bro, get a van. You know, you're young. You know, sleeping in a car is not that bad when you're young. Like now, at my age, like, you know, it's a bit uncomfortable. But when you're young, whatever, bro. Get a little minivan, sleep in that, right? Shower at the gym, work on your body, work on your finances, get your money right. By the time, if you start at 22, let's say you graduated college, right out the gate, you're making 40K a year, whatever, right? You do it for 2 to 3 years, or however long you can take it for, right? You know, stash away 50, 60K in the bank. You know, if you're really smart about it, you could probably, you know, cut corners even more and save even more money, and then take that 50K and do something with it. You know what I mean? That'll jumpstart your life. You know what I mean? So, you know, now that, you know, I know all this, you know, that's what I probably would do. That's why I said in the future I might do it again in a minivan, just for maybe a year or two, just to, you know, get that little extra, you know, since I did spend some money doing this stuff. And I'm sure, you know, I hope it was entertaining for you guys and informative as far as dodgy bands go. Because I pretty much have done everything now other than a turbo kit and a manual conversion. And, you know, later on, if I have more time and money, I'll definitely still try to do that. But until then, as far as modifications go, I've pretty much done it all. I was planning on adding a rear sway bar, custom rear sway bar. And what else did I want to do? I want to do something else. That's pretty much it, I guess. Yeah, maybe some headers or something, customize a pair of headers or whatever. But yeah, so hopefully it's been informative to you. But the biggest thing I've learned is that the van life, especially if you're not traveling and stuff, getting a van this big is not worth it. Dodgy van is fun and everything and stupid and it's cool, but it's really not meant for urban stealth camping. And so that's the big lesson that I've learned. And so yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the update. I'm probably going to be in here for another month or two. I know some of you guys have wanted me to make videos about the car I'm working on, getting up and running. And some of you had just said to change the name of the channel and just continue on with whatever hijinks I'm doing. I don't know, I think if I don't do the van life, my life would be pretty boring to vlog. So I guess if you guys still want to see me doing stuff, I guess I can make some videos about that car, because I do have a playlist for that, so I might as well finish it and see it up and running. And definitely I have some plans. Hopefully I can take the cash that I secured from living in this into an investment I'm looking at, and then you know, once that happens, then maybe other stuff might happen that might be interesting to watch, so then I might come back for that. But for the most part, van life, I think I'm pretty much done with it. I might get a minivan or a Transit Connect later in the future once that investment thing kind of goes through, and then maybe, you know, look at the minivan life, you know, doing a real scaled down version of this, and then doing that maybe for a year or two to just, you know, stack away a little bit more cash to move forward with some other stuff I'm looking at. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. And yeah, you know, let me know if you have any questions or comments down below, and then I'll respond to those as much as I can. And yeah, thanks for watching.